We're at the East India Dock Basin, which is one of the docks on the north side of the Thames. I've uncovered so many surprising stories by looking up close, you know? Like when you get really close to something, it can teach you so much. What is now a nature reserve for birds and for the reeds, this was once the dockyard that dealt with the East India Company, which is such a large and violent colonial project. It's felt so significant and important to understand our perspectives on water and what it's for and how we use it and how we live with it. I found out that the River Thames around Oxford is called the Isis, after the goddess, the Egyptian goddess Isis. The ancient Egyptians used to say that the river floods with the goddess Isis's tears, you know, that she would cry over her husband Osiris, and that when she cried, the Nile would flood, and that with that flood, the land would become rich and fertile. And in medieval times, apparently, they reimagined the story to say that the old Father Tame married the goddess Isis to create the Thameses. And I told my mum this story, and she got really angry and annoyed, and she said, you know, have they not taken enough from us? And I laughed. I was like, I'm sorry, it's not my fault, but it provided me with a bridge. You know, when I was doing research for the piece, the performance, Daughters of the River, it gave me this route through mythology to think about the relationships between England and Egypt through the water. Honestly, I'm not maybe a natural performer. So it's such a vulnerable position, you know, to put yourself in, to tell a story, but this is how these stories make me feel, you know? Some of the stories I've learned, they're very violent. They're really unpleasant, violent stories. And finding a way to tell that and to share that, it's felt important. So often I find these really disparate stories, and the thing that binds them together is my perspective, that I come from a particular place. I'm a migrant, and I have, you know, other experiences that shape my relationship to an event or a history. That's one of the reasons that it felt so good for me to tell stories in the way that I tell them.